What's up everyone, MK Tom Brady here. In this video, I want to talk about some changes that I feel like are pretty desperately needed for the game. Power level is just fine at the top. It's terrible at the bottom. So many characters are forced into using one cameo because they can't do anything else. You have situations where the character is more the cameo and the character is kind of the +1 instead of the character being the main feature and the cameo the +1. Just so many things need to get changed. Power level wise and cameo wise. So I want to start with the cameos. I did something like this about a month into the game's life, but I have a lot more knowledge of the game. So these are the changes that I feel like are desperately needed. First thing I want to touch on are the Sector and Sonya cameo. So why is the Kung Lao cameo so used? Yes, I get it that the low hat is low and it's +2 on block and you can charge it and do stuff behind it. But the main reason why it's so abusable is because it is so abusable. It comes back very quickly. So you're not ever in a situation where you're fighting without your +1. Well, we have situations in this game where a cameo's best move requires so much resource that it takes so much time to come back that it never gets used. And this separates a Kung Lao cameo from something like a Sector homing missile. So I would say instead of it costing both cameo bars, and look at how long it takes for me to be able to get the homing missile back again, it would just take 1 bar of cameo and 1 bar of super meter. So instead of pressing cameo twice, you would press cameo once, maybe a quick block tap, and it would just come out as like an EX version of this. And this way it's more usable. I understand how powerful the homing rocket is. So it is going to cost some resource, but not to the point where it's also, because right now it's costing 2 things. 1, both cameo bars, and 2, the most important resource, time, usability. So that's way too much of a resource for this. So lessen the resource cost. 1 cameo, 1 bar of super meter, and you can still use it more frequently. Now, people don't look at time as a resource, but time is a resource, which dictates how often you can use it. Sonya's problem is she just has no place right now because her leg grab, it's a combo starter. Lots of characters have that. Her square wave, what is this for? Okay, you can extend combos past where they can normally be extended or do combos that normally couldn't be possible because you can extend them in areas you normally can't. Okay, I got that. It makes certain moves that normally don't launch long enough for a combo turn into a combo, okay? And it can allow certain armor attacks to now launch for a full combo. Got it. Goro does all of that. What he also does is makes move plus on block. So not only are you hunting those same combo starters, but you're also plus on block if they happen to block them. Sonya does not give you that. So Sonya is just a much worse version of what Goro does. But she does have this projectile. Now, if you notice, it is not an ambush. It's a summon. What I would do is I would make it an ambush, so you can do it in attacks. It's +1. You might want to make the non-charged version, instead of just being an ambush, make it an ambush and make it mid. And then maybe make the longer charge versions a high, because these are very, very significant forms of frame advantage. They can do this because you see Reptile, he's got 2 different versions of his charge attack. One's a mid, one's an overhead. To be honest with you, I don't even think it would matter if they kept this the charge version of mid, if they made them both mids. I just think the power level in this game is to the point where this is acceptable. But maybe they might want to make one a mid and one a high if you charge it, or based on how long you charge it. Next, I want to look at the Darius cameo and Motaro. So Darius, like Sector, is one of those things where his best attack is just 1, hard to set up, and 2, also very resource intensive for other characters to make usable. So for right now, Darius is mainly only used by Reiko, and this is because he gives you a combo off of the command grab. But this particular, let me go switch really quick. Well, you know, we'll cover Motaro first. So since I'm already on the Motaro side, we'll cover Motaro. So Motaro right now is just kind of significantly underpowered for what the main cameo gives you, which is Kung Lao. So what I would do is I would look at Motaro's teleport. The more options you give players to get in on lane play and zoning, the stronger you can make lane play and zoning. So that's kind of how I look at it. So it just kind of balances out between offense, defense, zoning, in between play. You have to have a healthy balance. Motaro can help with that. So what I would do is I would make you have his regular teleport, which you can use. It's still usable. But I would allow you to then also spend a bar of meter to make it instant. And I mean like instant, like blinks out instantly and then appears behind you and you recover immediately. This would allow characters to do things like attacks into a Motaro cancel. And some characters, based on their cancel advantage, could recover it with major frame advantage. It also would allow certain characters to do this and extend combos longer than they really could. So it could be a combo extender. It can also be good for pressure. So this way you have more than just... it also can be used, like I said, to get around zoning, lane play styles, etc. Instant teleport blink, spend 1 cameo, 1 bar of meter. There's so much freedom and creativity they can do in this game, and yet they're so creative in some areas and so bland or so afraid to be creative in others. The Darius cameo, to me, is a pretty simple fix. Problem is, this attack right here is just very difficult to set up. It's 47 frames, so unless you have a juggle that's very high or something like clone that can keep them frozen in midair, you really can't get this into your combos at all. Now, of course, you can use this and do that, but the problem is, again, it's going to require the entire cameo bar. So I understand why this is good. This gives you combos in situations you couldn't combo. I understand why that's so expensive. I don't understand why they don't just speed this up. I would make this, instead of 47 frames, you could probably literally take 20 frames off of this. Make it 27 or 25. More characters could use it. I mean, listen, you already have not just unblockable protection, but you have hard to blockable protection. So for anyone to be worried about, oh my gosh, how unfair is this? Look, you have a large window of protection for both lows and overheads hitting at the same time. It's so big, in fact, that it's something that could be annoying, but certainly never unfair because of how much protection you are afforded when it comes to multiple hit levels hitting you at the same time, or even close to the same time. Just take this, speed it up significantly. Darius will become much more usable. The best ability is availability. If a cameo is hardly ever available or usable for what you want, then that attack, that cameo, isn't very good. That's why Kung Lao's low hat is so good. It has the best ability, availability. And NRS, I guess, doesn't seem to realize that logic. Okay, so when you look at some of the other cameos in the game, look at Cyrex, and I want to look at Frost. Okay, so Cyrex, to me, simple fix. Very easy fix. This right here, I know people don't like this. If they want, they can lessen the chip on it. You can already flawless block stuff. I don't really see why you would need to lessen the chip. But we know the casual, so you got to give them certain, liberties. Or certain considerations, I guess. I shouldn't say liberties. Wrong use of the word. However, what I would do is I would no longer allow this to have this take your entire cameo bar. This is absolutely ridiculous. Again, the best ability is availability. And when a cameo's best attack is not available, you tend to never use the cameo. So the nerf they did to Cyrex just means he never gets used anymore. It's just one less cameo for us to use. So what I would do is have this go back to being 1 cameo bar, but I would make the effect splat down. So the hit effect would cause a downward splat, right? Instead of something like this, or even if it's in a juggled state, okay, make it splat down. So if you happen to hit somebody in a juggled state, I would no longer have the move bounce the opponent back to you, which is what made armor moves turn into armored launchers. I would just have it splat them on the ground in a juggled state. You also might want to look into speeding up how fast the helicopter comes across. What gives people a big advantage is just how long the helicopter is spinning, allows them to recover and move. So what I would do is I would speed up just how fast the helicopter moves. This way, when Johnny Cage does whatever he does into his uppercut special, by the time he lands, Cyrax has kind of pushed too far away, and he lands, and he doesn't really move fast enough to be like mega plus. So this allows still moves to be safe, armor moves to be safe, pressure to be safe, but outside of the corner, it's not going to be that same pressure option. So you can still take attacks, make them safe, have armor moves, make them safe. It still gives you advantage in corners. It's just not a one-size-fits-all anywhere on the screen the way it was previous. Now I want to go on to Frost. In my opinion, Frost is in some need here because, what is it? This attack here is just, it just takes too long. I just make this an ambush. You know, I understand Frost Ball, but it doesn't go full screen. So, I mean, you can still, you have a strike throw mix up behind it, but I mean, if they want to, they can, to balance it out, make the cooldown a little longer. Again, Frost doesn't even really have an ambush, so I don't see any problem with this. I'm just going to be honest with you. None of this stuff is broken. This move doesn't come out right away. It's still on the screen. I just think that I just don't see a problem with making this an ambush attack, you know. Or if you want to keep it where it is, speed up how fast the Frostball moves or speed up how long it takes to come out. So one of two things, either make it an ambush or it shouldn't come out in 29 frames. Make it come out in maybe 15 frames. So it can still be a summon, but it comes out in 15 frames, or make it an ambush. Again, right now it's almost never used. Best ability is availability. I mean, just the way it is. It's never used because of how long it takes to set up. So it's not really available when you want it to be available because it just takes so long to even get out and then move. All right, other cameos I want to just also touch on very quickly. Shujinko, God only knows, man. I don't even think he should have to taunt. Just give him the moves, man. Just let him. He just automatically steals their special, point blank, period. And one special that he always steals is the projectile, which that projectile is immune to the Sub-Zero armor cameo. It allows characters to kind of zone with Shujinko without having to worry about somebody. No counterplay to the Sub-Zero cameo, which makes you immune to projectiles. Really, Serena, I would make her portal. I wouldn't have to make her stay on the screen. She could just put the portal out. The fact that the cameo is on the screen the whole time, it's just not as good as the knives. But then I would also take Serena's knife and I would make it so when you do hit her, the knives don't come back. So or hit the character. Either hit Serena or hit the character. The knives do not return. Period. Right now it's a little... I think it's in a weird place, but I would definitely try to balance it a little more. Serena would still be a little more usable. She would have a special that's a little more usable. And without the downside, if she has to stay on the screen, I think that's dumb. And then I would also keep the knives the way they are, but I wouldn't make it a combo for free. Or really, they could just keep it like that, to be honest with you. I really don't think it's quote-unquote broken, keeping the way it is. So I know some people are complaining about it, but to be honest with you, I'm okay with how it is. I'm just going to be honest with you. But I would 100% make her portal, which just makes her standing on the screen. I would make that so she doesn't have to stand on the screen. She could just do the portal, it goes off screen, portal stays there, so on and so forth. Other than that, Scorpion cameo, I would make him hit a lot harder than he does. I think this cameo's sole purpose is damage, so it needs to do damage. I know it does damage in some instances. I would make it do damage in all. This just make it a low. Just make his unblockable a low. I don't know why they still keep this an unblockable. You already have unblockable protection and hard to blockable protection. I don't see why they don't do that. Striker, I'm not sure what I would do to him yet because based on my changes to the character, Striker might be too stupid. So I think Striker might be in an okay place right now. If anything, maybe I would make his grenade toss a little faster and allow you to charge it and hold it so you can use it in certain instances. So make it faster with no charge, but also make it chargeable so you can use it in more instances. I think that would be a good use of it. And I think that really balances the cameos out overall. And so now we have to go on the characters. So I want to start with Molina and Shao Kahn here. I had some ideas for Shao Kahn, but then I read the comments, so I really kind of rethought how I would do it. Molina, I think, definitely needs some love here. Not that she's a bad character, but again, I just don't see the point in putting safeguards on her. I don't see the reason for that. So first of all, Molina's projectiles. I don't understand why. I'll start Molina this time as opposed to Kahn. I don't understand why this doesn't go full screen. I get she has this version here, but I don't understand why the regular site also doesn't go full screen. I just don't understand it. I don't see what the purpose of this is. Why she has to spend bar to make a side full screen. I get why you spend the bar for this, because it goes to a combo starter, which of course, if they get hit by it, it shouldn't be something that's meterless. But I do think the high side should be full screen. The low side as well. I don't understand the reason for this. Why does this not go full screen? Why do you have to spend the bar? And then I would do something with the EX version of this. This is a complete waste of a bar here. Why do you need to spend a bar to do this? I just don't. And then maybe they could make, I don't know, both the low version and this go to this right here. Then they could both go to that. And when you meter burn it, they both go to that. And when you don't, they both go full screen. Again, what are these safeguards? Well, I don't understand what these safeguards are. Oh, but Tom, you give her a full screen combo starter. She's literally dead for this. You block this, right? She's gonna die. So she's literally going to die. So how abusable is this really? Because she's going to die. The next thing I would do is her frame data. I don't see why there's a flawless block gap there for characters. Some characters can flawless block and kill her. Don't understand that. I mean, what are these safeguards? I don't understand what these safeguards are. What are they thinking? Oh, it's an overhead, and she's going to mix you with that and her low options, and all these low options afterwards. She's going to mix you up, and no. If you don't know what the strings look like by now, play a different game that's easier to if you can't visually understand what's what at this point. So it doesn't. If they think it's too much, just make it a mid then instead of an overhead. I mean, if she's going to be punished because the second hit is an overhead, just make it safe. Take away the flawless block gap. Again, I would be fine with it as it is with no flawless block gap. I just don't understand why they're taking these precautions in unnecessary situations. And then her frame data. This is -10. This is ridiculous. You have a character in the game that has a 9-frame mid that is the most used character in the game right now. You do this, he's going to do a mid to a full combo. When these are -9, you're not going to get full comboed for it. When you start making this -10, there's at least one character that's going to full combo you. I'm pretty sure Cage will end up not the only character in the game that has a 9-frame mid. So Molina will probably get hit in the face by maybe 3 or 4 characters when the game's all said and done. Just make it -9. I don't see what these safeguards are on Molina for. Shao Kahn, very simple. So I did say he should be able to put his axles down and remain axeless. However, the Shao Kahn community let me know, well, then you have to draw the axe back and it could ruin his combos. You don't want to be stuck without an axe. I can't ever draw it back. So I would make it so you can always draw the axe back even when you're blocking, because right now, if you're blocking like this, I don't believe you're vulnerable. I mean, the axe won't come back if you're blocking anyway. My mistake. Stupid me. So I would never make it so you can never withdraw your axe. You could withdraw your axe pretty much any time while as soon as you come out of block, and I would make the axe callback just L2. Not where you have to do a command. So you put the axe down, and now you can remain axeless until you decide to call it back. And calling it back would just be hitting the L2 button, and it would be as seamless as this is right now at any point. So you could remain axeless as long as you want, and you could draw the axe back whenever you wanted to, and it would come back the same way it does in the automatic callback. So this way you never have to suffer any, well, now I can't call it back, or is it going to ruin certain combos because I have to do another command? Is there going to be new animation? No, I would just keep the callback, just L2, and the callback would behave exactly the same way as this behaves right now. It would just automatically appear. It wouldn't be a separate animation or a separate command or anything like that. Just L2, nothing hard, nothing fancy. So as I move on to other characters here, again, I think Smoke might need some love. Online is the way it is, so it's tough to know how much love he actually needs. So I don't really know, to be honest with you. So Scorpion and Reptile, I already went over these in a previous video, but I have some newer ideas that I want to go over here. So Scorpion's problem is, we all know he doesn't have a good mid. He did this for Omni-Man. Do it with Scorpion. Let's go back to Scorpion here. I should probably do things in reverse, but I'm being weird. So I would Omni-Man, this right here, just make it uninterruptible. So you can't duck it. Just make it a little better, I guess, guard stand on the knee, whatever they have to do to make it so you can't get under this. That's all they have to do. So make this a true string. You have to block it. I think this would be just fine. And the next thing I would do with Scorpion is I would also make, you know what? Make this special cancelable too. Why not? Omni-Man can do it. Why is it so bad for that Omni-Man can do it, but Scorpion can't? I don't see. This character is, what does he even do, right? Make this special cancelable, please. I mean, why all these safeguards? I just don't understand what the safeguards are here for. Then I would take Scorpion's teleport and I would speed it up. 26 frames, make it like maybe 19 frames. Speed it up a little bit. I don't see why they don't do this. It makes no sense to me. Why this isn't at least maybe 20 frames minimum. I would at least do that to Scorpion. I think that this would put him in a much better place. And when you combine all this with Cyrax, the Cyrax change I have, I think this would put him in a much better place. Reptile, again, I really haven't kind of changed my mind of some of the changes that I had for him. Just really quick, see Force Ball, he can't move until the Force Ball explodes. I would make it so he can move the minute the Force Ball leaves his hand. So the minute he begins to travel forward, Reptile can move. This also gives his amplified versions, makes them a lot better. Like he can only move barely right before the slow one makes contact. If you do the fast one, I don't believe you can't do it at all. I would also make his spit full screen. What is the purpose of this move here? It's an amplified version. Make the EX version go full screen. What am I spending a bar for? I get, okay, so it barely covers more ground than this. For a bar of meter, this is what you get. I don't see, why would I even spend the bar on that for? Or make it a restand or something like that. I don't even think it does. No, I don't think it restands. If it does restand, scratch that. But they could make it a restand if it doesn't already. I don't think it does though, right? And just make it go farther. Like why does it only go this far? They go almost the exact same distance. And I'm spending a bar on this. So the force ball change, the amplified version of this I would have go farther. The regular slide doesn't even go full screen. So why is this move 21 frames? I would make the regular slide a little faster. If they want to keep the armored slide the same speed, maybe regular slide could be a little faster. And what's his invisible command? Let's see. I don't even remember what it is. But what I would do is definitely make it down. Okay. Okay, it's a little faster. Okay, I got it, right? But I would make it even faster than it is. I would make it significantly faster. Like, I would remove this hollow out effect. So as soon as he coats himself, he's invisible immediately. Just remove the hollow man effect that's going on. I just make it faster. I don't see what these safeguards are. And by the way, you might want to look at this right here and get rid of the gap in this string. Why? Because he's already dead if he tries to keep his turn. If he tries to keep his turn, he's dead. If he tries to keep his turn, he's still dead. Yes, he can use cameos. Welcome to the game. 1,000 characters can do it. It's just how the game is. Don't see why there would be a gap there. But I guess if they do everything else to him that I mentioned, I guess that could be negotiable. Sub-Zero and Nitara. Yeah, so we'll start with Nitara and then we'll go to Sub-Zero. Nitara, I pretty much feel the exact same way as I always did. Too many safeguards already on Nitara. Again, her mid is, what is it? 11 frames, doesn't really cover much distance. And this actually splats. So it's already -7, so it's not like the world's safest move, but it splats. I would give her a hit confirmable mid. I would change their reaction to this to keep them standing, make it special cancelable. Then I would take her Blood Bolt move, whatever it is, and I would speed it up a little bit. And then again, look at her health. I mean, it's still only 900. Why? You know, why? Or what is it, 850 with other cameos? Did they give her extra health? I don't remember. But either way, still, I just give them the Tara standard health, man. Like, I don't understand what this is, what this nonsense is. Give them the Tara standard health. Oh, I forgot to go over Sub-Zero. How could I possibly have forgotten that? So Sub-Zero, again, just very simple changes. I would not touch the Ice clone because people would riot. Wouldn't touch the clone at all. I would touch Sub-Zero's damage. So I would give him more damage. I just don't understand the purpose of his damage being so low. I would speed the Ice Ball up from 39 to 29 frames. And again, I would make them frozen for a little longer. Maybe 20 more frames of freeze time. And I would take this this regular slide move here, and I would just make him go into crouch immediately. I don't see the purpose of him being in standing for so long. Remove the standing frames, he goes into crouch right away. Don't see a problem with this. Remove the gap on his 1-2, and EX clone should just be 1 bar. I think if you do all of these things, I think the game is in a significantly better place, not just for the characters, but also the cameos. I think the game becomes significantly more enjoyable. And then maybe NRS can say, hey, you know what? Things are in a much better place, and then maybe they can buff some of the zoning characters. I mean, limitless potential. But I would start with that base power level, see how the game plays out, and go from there. People might say, but Tom, what about your nerfs to Johnny Cage? But Tom, what about your nerfs to all these other characters? Even Kenji's Sento being out for 15 seconds, you know what? Let the power fly. Let the power fly, and let's see where we are. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. As always, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more content. Oh, by the way, Reiko, come on, man. Come on, man. I forgot one thing about Reiko. I forgot. I would make his regular command throw a mid, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know how Reiko players feel about this. You could make it a mid, but not allow to combo into Darius. Make his EX command throw also a mid, but 1 bar, and allow the Darius cameo. So they're both mids. You would have to spend the bar for the combo. I don't know how I feel about the damage scaling, to be honest with you. Come back to that. But that's kind of where I feel would be good for the game. But as always, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more content.